All right, guys. Hey, welcome back to the Zahner Honey Farm. Today is the day. I finally got my new queen bee, and we are going to install her. We are going to see how they react. We're going to find out how they treat her and the installation process goes, whether or not they made a new queen or if that didn't happen and they've just been productive and she becomes her new she becomes their new mama. So this is the new queen bee, and they mated her by putting other bees in there. If you look closely, she's the one with the white dot on her back right there. She's kind of hiding, but she's in here. And so what we're gonna do, had a little screw up there. What we're gonna do is we're going to open up the hive, because there's something else I wanted to show you guys. Was the last time that I made a video, I had a problem, right? So that problem being that they didn't want to stay in the hive. So I've changed that. I got a little impatient. I talked to a few beekeepers. I talked to a friend of mine who came over and helped me with that. And so far, everything's been going well. So I'm gonna show you that, and I'm gonna talk about it for a little bit. We're gonna introduce her, like I said, and I'm gonna show you. This is all new to me. I haven't looked in that hive since I showed you guys last, because I wanted to leave them alone. I wanted to see how they would do with the bee feed. I wanted to see how they would be doing left alone, especially after shaking things up a little bit. So I'm going to walk you guys over. I'm starting a little bit away from it, because when they're flying around right now, not crazy, but they're flying around right now, and when they smell her, when they get communication from her that she's around, they're going to go crazy. Whether that's they're trying to sting her and kill her because they already have a queen and they just don't like her pheromones, or because they want her because they like her pheromones. And I don't want to have that while I'm filming right in this moment. So things could spice up just a little bit here in a minute. So I'm gonna walk over now, and we're gonna see. I'm actually gonna leave her right here, because I want to look inside the hive to see what happens first. And then I'll walk back over, I'll pick her up, and what you do is, this is a candied end and then another end. So what you're supposed to do is take the cork out, which I already did, and I kind of took a toothpick to waft it out of there, and then I kind of just wanted to see what that was like. And as you can see, I kind of stuck it a little bit to make sure that that was like a candied piece. They're going to eat through that, and then they will, once they eat through that, they'll pull her out of there. So it's supposed to be a long process, because if you just drop her in and they don't like her, they'll kill her instantly, because sometimes it takes a little bit for them to be like, all right, this is mama. So good news is I got a queen. Bad news is it's probably going to take a little while, and I'm going to be doing some inspections off screen just to see how things are going for the next video. But I'm going to be checking things out so that to see what's going on, and then obviously next video I'll show you what happened from there. But for right now, we're going to try this out, and you're going to see whatever happens. So again, I'm figuring this all out. I watched a few other beekeepers. Thank you to all the beekeepers that are, or the people that know beekeepers or know anything about beekeeping, that are messaging me. I deeply, deeply appreciate all the help and the love and the support that you guys are sending me. All the advice, the tips, the stuff that that you guys are sending me. I deeply appreciate it. So it's helping out a lot. I'm, again, just starting out, brand new at this, and I did a little bit of research, so I didn't just like, oh, I don't know, let's just throw them in a box and see what happens. I did a little bit of research, but obviously I don't know everything. So the stuff that you guys are advising me on is deeply appreciated, and it's been helpful, and I'll know what to do going forward. So with that being said, let's walk over and let's see what the bees look like, because I have no idea. Now, to give you a little forward observation, so to speak, they are flying in and out right now. So here they are. So the last time you guys saw, they were about right here between this foot and that center foot of this pallet. They were like down in here. And so what happened was a buddy of mine came over and he was like, well, you know, like if you were trying to, you know, establish a wild colony of bees into a hive that you have set, they would just shake them out of a tree, right? Sometimes it takes a little while. A beekeeper messaged me and he said, sometimes it takes a little while and they don't really like it at first. Sometimes you got to do it. So with him helping me and that beekeeper messaging me, I kind of was like, yeah, hey, you want to help me pick this pallet up? And then I, you know, just shake them back in. So what we did was we took the bottom board and the box body and we pushed it over. We took the lid off, and again, there was but a few bees in there, a couple of little groups staying warm because we had some cooler days. Right now, it is a beautiful, sunny, partly cloudy, 70-degree day. So they are out being active. And they have been bringing in little bitty, I've actually, over the last couple days, I've been seeing them bring in little buds of nectar and pollen all over their legs. So I know they're building something in there now. So, but anyway, we took the box off, took the lid off, and we just smacked it down in there and reshook it like how I did on my first video and shook them back in there. And ever since then, they have stayed in there. So we've kind of had like a running theory that the queen may have had a daughter in there and they turned her into a queen. So that's a possibility, going in with releasing this other queen into the hive. So, and if that's, you know, if that happened, they're going to kill her. But that's okay, because either way, I'm guaranteed a queen. So either way, I'm guaranteed a queen, and I don't care. As long as they have a queen, that's all that matters. And honestly, if they made one, she's younger and she's going to last a lot longer. And with the food that they feed her, she is going to live a lot longer than the rest of them. Typical bees, I know, only live like several weeks. A queen bee can live a few years. I heard of a queen bee living for like 5 to 7 years because of the stuff that they feed her. She gets the better stuff and they keep her alive to keep laying eggs. But, you know, usually it's a few years. And so if she's younger, then I've got a good queen bee for a while. So that's a good news. But so on and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lift this lid off, and then I'm going to bring the camera back over and I'm going to show y'all what the inside looks like, because I honestly have no idea. I haven't seen it in like almost like two and a half days. So we'll see what happens. Okay, that's good. No bees on the underside. Okay. So I got the heavier part off. I think what I can do is I can take the inner cover and I can show y'all as I take it off. So I'm going to go real gentle. Now, be mindful. Right in there, I don't know if y'all can see it, is the in-frame feeder. So they've had that feed in there. The other part we're going to see is not only how well are they doing, what have they been building, but have they been eating the feed that I made them? So we'll see. If you guys can see this right now, this bee, oh, I missed him. They're bringing in buds of pollen and nectar. They're pulling in stuff from the flowers. Oh, wow. Okay, so this happened. They are really eating up that feed, guys. Holy cow. This is nuts. Okay, I'm moving slow. A bunch of them, I don't know if you saw that or heard that, but they, oh wow, you guys are gonna love this. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. They have been making a comb. Look at that. If the camera will focus. So, a few of them drowned in there. That's okay though. But look at that. See, they've got the little buds. If you can see that one right there, he had buds of pollen or nectar or something on him. So they're making honeycomb. Look at that. That is so cool. I think they're flying around. I know they're kind of pissed because I just woke them up after this long leave alone time. But we're gonna see what happens. Look at all these bees. They're doing so much better. Look at that honeycomb that they started to produce. See how it's actually kind of sticking around from where they were originally, where the foundation, you can see the difference in the depth where that black foundation is. And then look, that comb that they're on. That is so cool. Holy cow. Oh, look, they started to make one in there. Right where they're at. I don't know if you guys will get a glimpse of it, if the camera will focus. But there's actually a comb right there on that left side of that frame. So they're starting to do stuff. So that's good news. Good news. Oh, look, when I opened up the cover, a piece of it fell off. So they were trying to build some stuff. So I think it's safe to say that I think I'm going to put a few frames back in. And then I'm also going to, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape her, because you're supposed to hang it with the candied side in. And then I'm going to put her in there on her own frame. I'm going to take this feeder bucket out, actually, because they don't need that anymore, because they have feed. And all the ones that got on that feed, I think they're dead. But I think it was just a temporary thing. So that little feeder bucket, there's none of them were on it, and they're all dead. So they're all doing their own damn thing. So, but I'm going to go back, and I'm going to... Man, you guys should see how many bees are flying around. Let me see if you can. So they are going bonkers right now because I opened up that lid, which is okay. They're all going to fly back in. It's fine because I'm about to put a queen in there, and we're going to see what happens. So, this is so cool. I really just want you guys to see, like, all that they're doing. This was not a thing before. I think they're a lot happier now that it, like, warmed up to about 70 degrees. It's not too hot. It's not too warm. It's perfect weather. They are running around trying to figure out their thing. And I wonder how they're going to react when I bring her over into this hive. Okay, so this is all good stuff. Let's try and get in here. I'm in the middle of the swarm right now. You can see they're starting to build more comb and move to the right of that frame. So this is so cool. These guys were all not flying around before I opened up that lid. Oh, all right. So that's pretty cool. They're making some comb. They're doing their thing. They're trying to figure things out. They have established a new home, and I'm about to bring a new mama over. And because I'm looking around and I'm trying to find these bees, and I don't think I see a, I looked at that other queen, like the shape of her body, and I don't really see another queen or another bee that would resemble a queen at all. At least on the ones on the lid. So I'm looking around. I don't, let me show you guys. I don't see any. I know you guys are like, I don't know what a queen looks like either. She's got a different shaped body. You can tell the difference in her rear, like torso and stuff like that. The length of her wings. She's kind of got a bigger ass, so to speak, just in layman's terms. I'm not seeing any of these. I know they're all flying around. I just don't see one. Any of the ones that are landing. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe helping him or cleaning him or getting something off of him. They are. But yeah, I don't see one in here at the moment. But again, she might be down in that wad that's in between these two frames here, and she might be down in there, and I just don't know. I'm not gonna pull that frame out here right now because I'm leaving them be. I really just want to introduce a queen, and I'm gonna put that queen like frame. I'm gonna put a new frame, one of the ones I pulled out, right in here and next to this frame feeder, and I'm going to have her draped down, you'll see, and then we're just gonna put the lid on it. Well, we're gonna watch it for a little bit because they usually have a deep reaction to it, and then we're gonna watch that for a little bit, and then once things kind of have gone on for a little bit, then we will shut it up, and then we'll talk about some other things. So all right, so I'm gonna go grab the queen. I'm gonna leave everything off over there, and we're gonna tape her up onto this frame, and then we're gonna see how they react, because you saw how flying around they were there. Imagine if I brought her over there. It only takes one bee to be like, hey, there's a queen over here, and then they'd go nuts and they'd be all around me. So as you saw, I was in the middle of that swarm, sticking my hand through that swarm. None of them were really landing on me. I felt a couple of them on my back. I just kind of shook my shirt, but on the back side, and they go off. They're not, I'm not moving too frantically. I'm not swatting at them. I could probably take my finger and brush them a little bit. They're Italian bees. They're real calm. Somebody was telling me earlier today, like, oh my God, I could never do that because, I'd be afraid to get stung. Like, if y'all watch my second video, I do get stung, and it's easy just to push it the way it came in and get that sack out. So, I'm not afraid of them, really. When they get close to your eyes and your ears and stuff, it's kind of like you want to flinch and stuff. But sometimes I felt one on the back of my neck, but I just go from like one long side and I brush them off, and they're not going to come back and sting you. Because honeybees, unlike wasp or some other of those more aggressive types of bees, they sting you, they die. Wasp, hornets, yellow jackets, they sting you, they just keep stinging you. That damn thing's in there permanently. And honeybees, it comes out because it'll kill you, because they give their life to save the hive. So I'm gonna grab a frame real quick. So we're gonna take this additional frame, and I'm gonna take a piece of tape, and what I'm gonna do, some people they get them with these wooden cages, and there's already like a tab on it, and then they just staple that tab onto the frame. I ain't got that tab or anything like that. I'm not stapling nothing. I'm just going to tape it. They're not going to, like, you know, eat through the tape. So one side is kind of turned. That's how it came. I don't know why. It's supposed to be closed. But I think the other part of it is that if they're not eating through that, and it's been a while, and they haven't released her, you can pull that one out, and then they don't have to keep eating through the candied end, and let her go yourself. So what you want to do is, when you're releasing the queen, which is just stuff I've watched with other beekeepers and stuff, put the tape on the top, on the cage side, on the side that doesn't have the candied end, which is that white stuff, just like such. And then what I'm going to do is, oh, well, I guess that wouldn't last long, would it? Let's figure this out. Let's push it down onto the caging. See how that works better. Let's, well, I think it's just a bad piece of tape. I know, I'm fumbling around, nothing fun. For you guys that rewatch, now would be a good time to skip. But I do this so you guys can see everything that I'm doing. So if you're curious as to step by step, this is it. Let me try doing it this way too. I'm going to put another piece of tape around. I'm gonna go grab a piece of scissor, a pair of scissors. Okay, so because I put too much tape, and they got to be able to poke through and feed her through those cages. Let me see if that works. Oh, don't stick, don't stick. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of how I'm doing it. For you other beekeepers out there that, I don't know, you're supposed to face the cage towards the colony, the open side, not towards the frame, because they got to be able to put their little asses in there and feed her stuff, and they're going to crawl. She's going to be hanging down. They got to be able to crawl up through like this, and they're gonna eat through there and then pull her out through the bottom. And then, worst case scenario, they haven't done that, I'll just pull the damn thing out and release her myself. So for you guys that had better ideas, you're supposed to face it like this, from what I've seen, read, and watched. And I don't know how. I mean, I'm not gonna, like, what, on that little piece, I'm not gonna try and stick a staple through there and then I puncture one of the bees, if not the queen. So I'm just taping it like that. There's plenty of open area for them to crawl around and feed her through there. And it's only supposed to take at a max a few days. So not like Farm and Fleet said like a week. I've not watched a single video of queening a hive or re-queening a hive where it said like a week or something. So it's only supposed to take a few days max. Sometimes it's taken a day and then she's already out. So it just depends. It depends on the situation. Every colony is different. Every type of bee is different. So I'm going to try and do it like this. I'm going to cut this extra tape off on the back. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little extra tape and I'm going to secure it. Like that. Okay, so she's just hanging there, right? I put a strip on her and then a strip around it to hold it on, and then hung that excess over. Okay, just as a recap. And then when I hung that excess over, I cut the excess on the back so there wasn't a flopping edge. Okay, and then I put another piece over that to long ways. Okay, so now you can move it around just a little bit and it's not going to come loose. So they can crawl around here. They're real soft. I mean, and they're not going to pull this off. So I'm pulling on this right now, not coming off. Okay, so all right. So here comes the magic. Let's see what happens. Hopefully I don't get stung in the process. Again, I don't mind looking like a jackass, but nobody wants to get stung, do they? Okay. So, remember, when we were just over there, they were flying wild because I had just opened that. I ripped them off their comb. They're pissed. It's fine. It's fine. So, they're still flying around. And I'm going to drop this in real quick just to see what happens. And then okay. I've seen some of them do it where they put it in like that wad there. I don't know if maybe I should pull that off and maybe just swap the frames. So there's one on it. Let's see. He's like, oh crap, there's a queen in there. There's a queen in there. I need to tell somebody. So he's gonna go tell somebody. While I've... Okay. While that's going on, so they haven't reacted so suddenly because I didn't put them in the bulk of the bees. So I want to pull apart real softly this frame without sticking my finger on one of them. And I'm going to pull it apart just to see. Oop, sorry, I caught your leg, buddy. Okay, yeah, that gives us a little bit more depth. Again, I'm over here with no covering. This is not really a problem. They're not, right now, I'm in the middle of them flying around. They're not landing on me. They do not care. I'm not a problem. I'm not swatting. I'm not doing anything crazy. And yeah. So they're not even landing on the phone. They're not hostile. You can hear, I don't know if you can hear them. I'll be quiet for a second. If you're reconnecting, I had to turn the Wi-Fi off. It was acting weird. But yeah. So, yep. See, I think what happened was they're making projecting comb, as it were, lack of better terms. If you look down in there, there's a couple other pieces that they made, and that fell down. I don't know if that was when I pulled the lid off, or if that's from separating this frame. Look at that. Look at that. They're pulling on each other and staying connected. Look at that. They're making a bridge, a bee bridge, between the two walls. Let me zoom the camera back out. See, some of them are eating it. See, they're eating it. So it's not a bad idea. Some of them, I guess, just, I don't know, for whatever reason fell. I think that's supposed to happen, a couple of them. But they're eating it. They've got feed. I don't know how well it's doing them, but they're doing all right. So that other end is actually pretty hard to pull apart. I was doing it softly, but let's get out of the swarm here on the front. Let's try to go to the, ironically on this other side, it's actually a lot calmer. Let me see if I can't stick my finger in there and pull this out a little bit. Look at that. They're making a bee bridge. They're crawling on each other. I know, I'm pissing them off. I'm screwing up their crap. But I'm going to try and move this over. And swap the frames. Because I really want her in there, in the bulk of it. I think I'm going to turn her around too. Oh, some of them fell. Okay. They're clinging on for dear life. I don't know. I'm going to stick y'all in there. I'm going to use my phone. I don't know what that looked like, but okay. So I'm going to try and pull it just a little bit further. Look at that. They are clinging on for dear life down there. My God, let go. Okay. So I'm going to pull this frame out. And we are going to stick her in the midst of it all. Get out. Okay. So she is now in a bulk of bees. And we're going to see how they react. I don't like being on this side. They're all over my head. Okay. Some of them are crawling on. Look at that. Look at that. They're crawling. They're starting to notice it. They're passing the word along. There they go. I kind of want to move this frame feeder over just a little bit. Give it some space. And then I'm gonna push this one back in. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see down in there, but they are crawling all over that cage. They're crawling all over it now. See, now that I put her right in their face, they're like, "Oh, okay." I don't know about y'all, but I think this is pretty cool, especially like, you know, it's something you've done, and it's something that you're making happen. Here's that comb piece. See, one's putting stuff in there. Look at that, sticking a little head in there. They're making it. So they are all up and down this wall too. Not so much on the frame, just on the wall. But they know now that there's going to be a candied side to it, and I don't. It keeps telling me not to rotate the camera, so oops. So they're going to have to go on the bottom of that and open her up. But this is the introduction phase. So if you guys, like I said earlier, this is them getting like basically acquainted with her, because you do not want to just let her go right away, because if they take time to accept a new queen. And this is assuming that there is no queen, because they're doing a pretty good job. I got one that don't like me. Oh no. Okay, now that he's gone. So see, they are just busy doing their thing, going in and out, making comb, eating feed. These feeders, again, if they're really, I mean, if there was a crap ton of them, that thing would be empty in a week, and it'll just keep going down. And then these ladders obviously get more exposed so they can keep crawling down, because those little ladder pieces on the walls there go all the way down to the bottom. I think that is just so cool. If not, 2 days ago, there were these frames were completely barren. I shake them back in, and now they've got stuff made. I mean, this is in 2 days. Can you imagine what happens when they've got a fully functioning queen that we well know of, and they've accepted her, and everything's going well, and I get more bees, because I'm about to get another colony here in like a week, less than a week, several days from now. I'll have another several thousand bees coming with their own queen, and we get to start this whole process over again in another box. I have been out here and filming, so let's say a total amount of time about like 30 minutes minus my time over there doing the queen and talking to you guys up front. About 30 minutes with this hive, and let's say 25 in this hive, swarming all around me. Again, I've not been stung. I've moved the feeder around. I swapped the frames. I put her in there. Taking the lid off. I think I destroyed a little bit of their comb, so, but that's okay. You know, they'll use that. They'll take from it, or they will make more. It's not a big deal. This is a beginning hive. I'm being real calm with them, real slow. You know, obviously I didn't mean to break their stuff, but they're already all over that stuff down there. I'm looking down on the bottom, and they're already doing stuff with it. So, but they are working away, doing their thing. And if you could see, I mean, there's so many of these bees that I'm watching walk around, and they have little buds of pollen and nectar and all kinds of stuff on them, and they're building. They're using that to build, and they're just flying around. I mean, who knows what flower they're grabbing it from. I've got some flowers sitting over the table that I haven't replanted yet. There's, I mean, dandelions, these little blue flowers. I mean, we have vegetation all around the yard, and everything's going great. So, I mean, who knows what flower they're bringing it from, but when they it's a slower process, but when they find a flower, they'll tell another one, and they'll tell another one, and tell another one, and tell another one, and then the whole hive knows, and then they all can go to that flower if it's really good, and then they can go to that patch or wherever they find all of that stuff at. So I want to zoom you guys back in. They are really all over that cage down there. They know her. They know where she's at now. It's not going to be like this. You know, if you guys were expecting the entire hive to ball around her in one massive wad, that's not what happens. But the few that are around her will know, and the ones that need to do something about it, whether kill her or open her up or do stuff, they tell them, and they eat, because they have to maintain the hive while getting her in there. So everybody's got a job, everybody's got to do it, and they keep moving on. It's not like, hey, we all have, they're not tunnel visioned creatures. So the ones that have moments to spare, or if that's like their thing, like, hey, we have to watch for queen bees or something, those are the ones that do something about it. So they're doing their thing. They're accepting her. I think this is really cool. I think that I'm just so excited that they're building stuff, and it looks like it's a slow, you know, acceptance process. I'm just hoping that everything's going smooth, and that when I after the acceptance time frame, I'm gonna see what they look like with her in like a day or two. I'm gonna inspect it tomorrow. I don't try to now that they're in here and they're staying here, I don't want to keep opening up the hive when I'm not filming, or when not necessary, to let them do their thing. But I'm gonna come out here and look tomorrow and see what she looks like, if they swarmed around her or something else. So this hive, obviously, by the grace of God, looks 10 times different than it did when I first put them in there, to a week, you know, the day after that and the day after that. I mean, I couldn't even get them in there. And now we've got a hive building comb, and they're busy and they're collecting. We've got a queen introduced in there. So this is a lot of good stuff. They're using the feeder. It hasn't obviously gone down by like several inches. It had 3 quarts in it. I'd say they barely used any, but that's just kind of like the boost, you know, if they're not getting anything. But they seem to be pulling a lot of stuff on their legs and stuff like that for feed and protein and sugar and stuff like that. So who knows where they're getting it from, as far as like what specific flower, or you know, I haven't really seen like, it looks like they're just gathering from like here right in the plot, from like the flowers that I have, or the little weeds and the flowers that are like here. We have one like right here that's gonna here, I'll show you this, that's gonna blossom soon. And when that has flowers, they're gonna be all over that. There's little bitty flowers here in the ground, and there's some right here. Yeah, they kind of look wilted. It was a hot day. I haven't watered them yet. But there's flowers all around the yard. And so, I mean, they're going to be pulling from all of that. And they're going to be you know, getting from all of that. We have so many flowers here. Somebody asked me the other day, and they were like, well, you're trying to do eventually this like whole raw, organic, unrefined, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yes. When my honey gets produced, there are 2 things that I'm going to show you guys that that can affect honey. And that's a varroa mite outbreak, which kills the bees anyway. And that affects their honey. From other beekeepers that have told me, and some that I've watched. So I'm going to be showing you me putting in varroa mite little, they're like varroa mite be gone packs. And I guess it helps with warding them away. Which, again, if you guys don't know, #1 killer of honeybees. Second to, if not above, pesticides. We don't have a pesticide issue around here, so that's why I felt comfortable. Also, another reason why I felt comfortable doing this. But pesticides and varroa mites. Don't have pesticides. Don't know. I mean, you can see on there. You guys have been look back at the videos. I haven't been seeing what do varroa mites look like. They look like little red ticks, but for honey bees. So I mean, you can look back in the videos. I haven't seen them yet. That doesn't mean that there's not bees in there that don't have them, but I don't think in this early of the stages that, you know, you're gonna have that issue. I think they eventually like migrate onto them. So I don't know how. I don't know where varroa mites are more prevalent, but you know, I don't think I have that issue right now. I've seen beekeepers that start up beekeeping and stuff like that, and they don't have that issue for like a long time. So it's not really something I'm concerned with at the moment, but I'm still going to put the varroa mite packs in there, and that way they it doesn't become an issue. And somebody else asked, like with, well, you don't have a whole lot of flowers, like you said you were going to plant this whole flower bed and keep them there. Yeah, okay, but like, so what about pesticides? Like, okay, so if they get a pesticide on them from a flower that somebody sprayed in their yard or on some other patch of land a mile or something from here, pesticides almost instantly kill bees. Like lawn care products and stuff like that, it poisons them, it burns them, it affects them almost instantly. So they won't even have enough time to come back and crop dust the rest of the hive and make that an issue. So when pesticides are an issue, it just kills the bee. They don't even have enough time to create honey whilst having pesticides all over their body. So that's not an issue. So if they go and land on a flower that had a pesticide on it, they're gonna die wherever the hell they found it. So, and they'll never make it back here. When pesticides are the issue is when, like, for example, your neighbor is spraying his lawn, or if you're way out there, if your next door neighbor farmer has a whole bunch of pesticides in his seeds, or is spraying them on his land, and a big wind blows up because he's got, you know, 100,000 gallons of the shit all the way out there, and then it blows over onto your field or over into your yard or whatever the case is, that will kill the bees. But again, it instantly kills them. It doesn't affect the honey. So it's not really a making of the honey, like tainted honey type of issue. So we're just gonna squash that right now. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to address that. Somebody asked me that, how can you guarantee raw organic? I'm not going to do anything with it because I don't have the chemical industrial equipment to put chemicals in my honey. All I'm going to do is put it through a strainer to get the wax and bee bits out of it. Once it's made, again, I don't have any honey. You just saw, they just started making honeycomb. If you're watching my videos, that's kind of a redundant question. First time beekeeper. How many times do I have to say that? Yeah, so I don't know. These guys seem to be doing pretty well. I'm going to give one more overview of the cage. They are all over that, like flies on shit. They know she is in there now. So who knows what's going on. But we are going to, we are going to take a break from that. I'm going to go ahead and I always come out here with an uncharged phone. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on, and the inner and the outer cover, and I'm going to leave them be. And then I'm going to go talk to you guys for a quick second, and then we're going to end the video for the day. And then I think I might come back out here tomorrow, unless that's a bad idea. A beekeeper can hit me up, message me, watch the videos. It's kind of redundant to ask questions unless you're watching all of the videos. But I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on, and then I'll talk to you guys about a few things. Yep, every time I put it on and they're on top, I always hit one. All right, bud. I always smash one bee. I try not to. while they're not on there, and we're good. Okay. So yeah, I try to, I'm the kind of person, every bee counts. You're not always gonna 100% not smash a bee when you're moving the lid or whatever. Can I get my hand in there? There we go. Oh, I guess there's a space in there. Oh well. All right. So, I left her in there. They're gonna do their thing. They're gonna get acquainted with her. Hopefully they accept her, assuming there's not another queen in there, and everything's gonna go well. So you guys will see that whenever I come back to it. I'm gonna do some off-camera inspections. We're gonna watch and we're gonna see if what happened, and then if I see some kind of like difference or some major change in how they're acting, or if they released her or something like that, then I'll spin up a video, if not tomorrow, the next day or the day after. So we're gonna see what happens with that. Again, I just want to thank everybody that has supported, liked, subscribed, shared. We have a YouTube channel. It's the same videos, but it's on YouTube. Subscribe to that. I think it's another good way to, you can share like a YouTube video really easy. You can share these videos on there. It's a little bit harder to work with Facebook. At some point, I would like to start doing YouTube Live as opposed to Facebook Live. The only difference is starting with YouTube, I don't have any followers. I don't have my own channel until now. So I had the following on Facebook, and that's what I started using. So eventually I want to convert over to the YouTube channel so that I can just go on there and go live with that, and then we can kind of just use Facebook as business and messaging, and for like picture posts, and then I can, like what I'm doing now, but in reverse, make a YouTube video and then share it on Facebook. So that way we're hitting both audiences, but I want to kind of convert over to YouTube. Like, subscribe, and follow, all that social media verbiage, please and thank you. Thank you to all the beekeepers that are messaging me. Today, we introduced a queen. I hung her in there the way that I did. I moved her in closer to the bulk so they would see her. There was only like 1 or 2 bees that saw her. So I was like, the videos I saw, they like laid her right into the hive, or right into the colony. And they were like, hey, she's here. So I was like, once I put her in that open area and I didn't see anything happening, I was like, let's see her in there. And then, what do you know? In like 2 minutes, they were like flies on shit. So they were all over her, and it was great. We'll see how they react to that. Now that I have shut it and it's down to the entrance reducer, just look, there's only a few of them out here. They all went back inside. They're doing their thing. They're working. They were only pissed because I opened it up. So, see, now that they've gotten established, I would say this is established. But they need a queen. So we'll see what happens with that, because that's like fully established. They're liking their new home. They're doing something with it. They are being productive. And now they have a queen that they will hopefully accept, and they will get her out of there, and she will be laying eggs and making more bees, and then that colony will double in size or triple in size. And then before you know it, next week I'll be showing you all a video on a whole nother hive. So I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna keep them on the same pallet. My 2 questions for beekeepers and anybody that knows anything about beekeeping and in the whole shebang: The way I put her on that frame up against the colony, good or bad idea? Question mark. Number 2, how far away, when I get the new colony and I put the other hive box over here and put them in it, should I keep them apart? Is it okay to keep them right next to each other on that same pattern?